Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about how to shorten a shelf. This shelf that came with these cabinets is 24 inches deep. We don't want to have the shelf 24 inches deep. We're going to shorten it down to bring it down to a smaller size, whatever size you choose. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to get this shelf out. This shelf needs to come out before the granite is put on, because as you can see, there's no way that this shelf is going to fit out through that opening right there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in, there's little plastic clips that hold the shelf in place. We're going to push the clips in, pull the shelf out, and then we'll take it into the garage here, and I'll show you how to cut it down without chipping or damaging the wood itself. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in over here, and you can see on the side of these shelves right here, there's these little plastic clips right on the side. You just push that clip in, and when you push it in, you lift the shelf up slightly, and it'll come out. So let me just do that. And now that we have the shelves loosened up, we can just slide it this way, and then we'll take it out. We'll let it tilt it. We're going to remove the little plastic retainers. So we'll pull the clips out so that we don't damage them. And you can just rock them back and forth. They are a little tight, but if you just rock them and twist them, they do come out. And we put them on the side, and now we'll take our shelf and we'll let it tilt it. And we'll bring it out through the opening on top here. Even coming out through here is a little bit tight, so you want to be careful. Okay, now that we're in the garage and we have our table saw over here set up, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our tape, any kind of tape will do, and we're going to decide how big we want the shelf. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure over the distance that I chose for the shelf, and then we're going to put tape along the joint where I'm going to cut it, and by putting the tape on there, it's going to minimize all the splitting on the wood. So let me get this tape on here. I'm going to make my measurement, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you how to set the table saw up. Okay, so now that we know the depth of the shelf that we want to have on here, we're going to make our measurements, we're going to draw a straight line, and then we're going to set our saw up so that we actually cut the shelf the size that we want it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure over, and I'm going to put a line where I want to have my shelf. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straight edge on it. If you don't have a straight edge, you can use a piece of wood or anything that you have that's that length. We're going to just strike a line. Alright, now I just want to point this out to you as well. Make sure when you cut the shelf, the back part that is actually not finished, make sure that you cut off, and this part will be discarded. This end over here is the nice clean end, so that's the end that we're going to save. Alright, so now we're going to set our saw up. We're going to bring it back over here. I already made my measurement. I'm going to bring my saw up. Okay, now you can see I have cardboard on here. The reason I have cardboard on here is I don't want to slide on top of this and scratch the bottom part of the shelf. So the cardboard is actually going to be my protection so that the shelf does not get scratched. Alright, so let me get started, and we're going to cut this off. We're going to go very, very slowly. It's much better to cut slow than to push it through fast and cut it too quickly. If you don't have a table saw, you can use a jigsaw. But a jigsaw, you have to be very careful and try to follow the line the best you can. I like a table saw because it gives you a nice, straight, perfect cut. All right, so all right, let me get set up and we'll continue. Okay, so now we have it all set up the way we want it, and we're going to feed this wood into there very, very slowly so that it cuts very slow. We're going to make sure we keep our wood up against our stop here, and then we're going to run it through. So cover your ears, we're going to start the machine up. Okay, now that we have it cut, we're going to take our tape off, and as you can see, it's a nice clean cut right up here. There's no splintering, no chipping or anything. By putting the tape on, it does save you a lot of damage to the wood itself. All right, so let me pull this all off, and we're going to go back inside and we'll continue putting it back in. Okay, now I just want to explain this to you. You see where these clips are in here? We need to actually put the other clip, if we want to keep the shelf at this height, we need to measure where that little hole is right there. And then we know our shelf is going to be out over here someplace. So what we need to do is to put a hole right in here so that our clip can actually be mounted in here like this, so it can accommodate our new shelf. So what we're going to do now is we're going to measure up from the bottom to where this hole is right here that it connects into, because as you can see, that's where it connects on the bottom right there. So we're going to measure up how high this one is here. We're going to put our spot right on the cabinet here, and then we're going to drill a very small hole, only about, I'm going to show you how far. You don't want to go in too far, because if you go too far, you're going to be actually in there, and that's how far it goes in. You want to see how far it is? It's only about maybe a 1/4 inch in. So that's how much we have to drill, 1/4 of an inch. And you want to make sure that the drill bit you're using is not too big or too small. It has to fit fairly snugly into the hole so that it doesn't make it too big. All right, so now let's measure over. We're going to put our mark right here, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll drill it. All right, so let me make these measurements, and we'll come right back. Okay, so now that we have the marks here where we want the shelf, we're going to come in here with a very small drill bit. We're not going to use a full-size drill bit yet, and we're just going to make a small pilot hole so that the bigger drill bit doesn't move when we try to drill it. So there we are right there. Just a little bit, remember? Okay. We're going to take our bigger bit, and we're going to put our bigger bit on here, and we're going to drill just about a 1/4 inch. Remember, you don't want to go too far. Okay, like that. We're going to wipe away the pieces of wood here. Then we're going to take our clip, put our clip back in here, and push it in just like that. And that is now the same height as this one over here. So let's just measure it to make sure. Okay. All right, we'll look good. All right, so let's do the other side, and then we're going to wrap this job up. Okay, then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side here. We're just going to put a small little hole with the drill bit, the small one first, right? Now we'll take our bigger bit. And we can make the hole with the bigger bit. Remember, you don't want to go too far. We want to go about 1/4 inch. We're going to clean off that stuff. Take our clip, put it in here, push it in as far as it goes. That's it. We're all set. All right, so what we're going to do now is we'll grab our shelf and put our shelf in, and this job will be all finished. So let me grab the shelf and put it in. Okay, now we're ready to put our shelf back in. Make sure that the unfinished end here goes in through the back and the finished end stays up in the front. Now, as you can see now, this shelf will go in through here the way it's meant to go, just like that. And then we just put our shelf, and then what we do is we just put our shelf up into those brackets, lock it in place, and we're good to go. All right, that's it. That's all there is to cutting down the shelf. The main thing is you want to make sure that you actually tape up that the area where you're cutting with either any kind of tape whatsoever, masking tape, electrical tape, whatever tape you have, tape it up to keep the ends from chipping, and you'll have a perfect job. All right, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.